Hi.
Good evening. I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, I'm just getting over the coof.
What? Oh, you had the coof?
I had the coof. I didn't even know.
Oh, at the coof.
So
you
how
got
do you
the
like
coof? I
so
had
how
the old coof. You got the new coof.
I've had both now. This new coof, I think I've had it. What's today? Thursday? I think I've had it since like either Monday or Sunday. And I wouldn't have tested because I didn't feel anything. And my mother-in-law's here and she felt terrible one day and she went and got tested and but like Sunday of last week I was sneezing a bit. I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't feel anything. I was feeling a little sick, but no headache, no nothing. Nothing.
It's a common cold.
Like we all predicted it would become. Like just the other night at the Board of Health meeting, they're like, "Oh, thank God this is almost over." I'm like, the only people who are getting it.
Yeah, but then what's her name said she had it.
Yeah, I know.
She had it a week ago. Yeah.
But the only people I know, like if you do a survey, the only people that are really sick, anecdotal, I know this isn't factual, but anecdotally, the people who are getting really sick are the ones that are triple and quadruple boosted. I got the shot once. I did, but I never got boosted. That's it. I'm over that. I'm not doing it again. It's over. I don't need it.
I got one, then I got two because of my wife, Dr. Vera, and I said, I'm not doing a third. She agreed. She said, no problem. She had to because she works in the healthcare industry.
Yep. You don't.
But
didn't have a choice at the time.
Yeah, I tell people I had the real man's coof. The real man's coof. I had the hardcore, couldn't smell, couldn't taste.
No taste.
For 3 months, fatigued. I get up to go to the bathroom. It's like I ran a marathon. Right? I was fatigued.
Drinking habanero sauce for breakfast.
Dude, I got it right before Thanksgiving. I couldn't smell the turkey. I couldn't taste the turkey. The only thing I tasted was salt. Literally. That's the only thing I could taste. I ate my whole dinner and I cooked. And I had to have people test it for me. Because I was past the stage, I had already, but that stuff lingered. I had the real man's coof. I paid the price.
That's I don't even know what to say to that because I know what to say. I know what that was like. I mean, I had it too. It was terrible. Like I've had worse flus, by the way, but still, it was bad.
Yeah. It was just the fatigue was the thing that really got me.
Yeah, the fatigue was overwhelming fatigue.
And I still put up my 10-foot Christmas tree.
Who are you kidding? The Hulk Hogan Claus put that up. Exactly. Hulk Hogan Claus.
So we got a good show tonight. We're going to be
giddy as a schoolgirl right now.
Yeah, we have some serious clips. I'm going to start off by just saying, in my opinion, and this is purely observational. Just from seeing this individual's behavior, I'm just going to say it, in my opinion, Bill Schmidt is absolutely 100% a narcissist to the nth degree. This guy is absolutely narcissistic. He runs the Board of Health meetings like a narcissist. He comes late almost every meeting. And when people come late constantly, that's not only disrespectful to the people that are waiting and the people that showed up on time, it's very narcissistic. You look it up. That's one of the behaviors. Look at me. I'm here now. He knows when he's supposed to be there. He knows this, but he yet still comes late. And just listening to his demeanor and the way he talks to people during the meeting, it's not only unprofessional, and I'm not just making this up. You people watching this will see this tonight in all its glory. And I'm dead serious. This guy is absolute narcissist. He's power hungry just by the comments that he makes. We can issue a state of emergency anytime we want. He actually at one point refers to the other members of the Board of Health as my members. It slips by, but I will point it out in the video.
I was there live, and I mean, I engaged.
Yes, you were.
He actually, you know, I'm trying to not get angry, but when I was like a caged animal in the back row. Every time he was ignoring the people who were standing there talking, he was rude the way he handled Jeannie and the way he handled Marianne, the way he handled everybody, really. And it's not right to go back at him. I get all that. But the fact of the matter is, the man kind of brings it on himself.
No, it is right. He says he defends himself, but you can't defend yourself from him. He never admits he's wrong. Never. Very narcissistic behavior. Never admits he's wrong. Refuses to compromise. Refuses. It's no my way or the highway. Yep. Narcissistic. It's not good when you have somebody running a committee that has that much power that they shouldn't have that much power with the narcissistic attitude, because it's almost like dictators. Dictators are narcissistic. And I know he got you throw insults, and everyone will see it. You throw insults around saying this is Marxist and this is his. Yeah, well, you know what? If the shoe fits, Bill, and people, you will see this tonight. You'll see it. You know, I saw it for the first time a little while ago. I put off, Todd, and actually another thing that he does, and you pointed it out, Todd, you pointed it out. While he was, let me get the chat up there. While people were talking, he's looking down.
That was what was making my blood boil.
You can't see it on the Zoom meeting, which is, the camera should be showing everybody.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be behind him. That needs to change, because if people saw the way he acted while people were speaking, you are supposed to, you're a public servant. You're in that position. You need to respect the people that are there, the people that take their time to come out. But he doesn't. He disregards you because he's a narcissist. He looks down while you're talking, you know, constantly, according to what you saw. And I'm going off everything that you said about it. And you do call him out on that in this. So with all that said, this is absolutely, you will see him or hear him, because he's oddly enough not on camera.
And I thought was different. By the way, the cameras are supposed to switch. There's a camera behind where I was sitting, and then there's the camera behind Bill. It's supposed to go back and forth. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I know it's not a conspiracy theory because I helped turn on the meeting, and there was no option that I saw where you could shut one camera off. There might be a plug pulled or something, maybe. But
just relocate the camera.
Yeah,
put it to the left of the audience and to the right of the board members.
It's not even that he's not paying attention. He's like ensconced in reading and like not focused. And every now and again, he thinks he catches something that he hears someone saying wrong, and he interrupts after he told. Well, you'll see. I'm sure you'll go over that.
Oh yeah. Well, we both will. But I just watched it for the first time tonight. I've had this for almost a week, and I avoided watching it because I wanted to get a fresh reaction. So I edited out certain clips. You want to jump right into? You want to give us a preface of the meeting before?
Yeah. So why don't we first? It's a selection on the Zoom for the meeting for different camera views, and I must have missed it. Maybe I thought that was automatic, Kurt. So what was the meeting? It was last week, right? It was last week, and the chicken coop issue is still on the table, and I'm not going to bore everybody with details, but the beginning of the meeting was public comment. Now, Bill's right when he says he doesn't actually have to allow public comment. I don't know why anyone would feel compelled to to share that. If you really are driven by a community thought and you want everyone to be heard, you don't even make that comment. But I digress. So who was first? Vasily was first, and he got up and he was doing his thing, as you caught on, and we'll discuss further. The first thing that got my heart rate up was I saw Bill. He just wasn't paying attention. And I just find that rude, especially when Bill is like, why this issue's where it is, quite frankly. So Vasily's doing his thing. Jeannie wants to ask a question. And
I
Bill
think
said,
we get that in here.
Yeah.
In clip one.
All right. Okay. You got that in there. So we have a discussion, and then Bill wants to hold everything off until we get to the item on the agenda. You'll show he can't help himself. The discussion around was whether or not to start implementation of the new ordinance that is onerous. There was some great arguments made. You'll hear about, Jeannie did some research. I want to definitely dig a little there because I took issue with some of the research, and of course, Kurt and Lane and Vasily did research as well and provided all kinds of data. I mean, there was lots of information out there, and there was a lot of talking past each other. And anyway,
it got very contentious.
Yeah, it got really hot, and I think that's the good backdrop.
So, okay, clip one, I call it chicken clip one. They're all chicken clip, right? I believe this is Vasily's kind of intro, but it gets interesting. Right off the bat. And we will stop the video and discuss as we go. So this show is probably going to go over an hour. So here we go.
I hope I can stay awake.
Take public comments from anyone here, and then we'll go to Zoom.
I'll go first. Vasily Malios, Precinct 5. So I am back again about the chicken coops. And I thought I actually put this on social media because I wanted a visual as a good way to represent the disagreement I have with the new regulations. So as of right now with the new regulations, Ms. Dalton, I'm not sure if you can see this, but I want to make sure you can see this as well. But right now, you're telling me I cannot have it in this location because it is an attractive nuisance, as Ms. Holgerson stated at the meeting in January, and there's also a health risk. So I'm now going to have to move this coop over to the side here, which also abuts Somerset Ave, but there's no major health risk or it's not an attractive nuisance.
So he's on a corner lot.
Yeah.
On two streets.
And it probably bears explaining what an attractive nuisance is, right? So an attractive nuisance is simply something that can draw attention that could cause harm. So one of the big arguments right now from the Board of Health is this new, I'm going to have to find the word Jeannie will mention it. It's a very rare lung disease, I believe it is. And it's especially dangerous to pregnant and immunocompromised people. But the idea that it's at all possible, you probably hit a scratch ticket for like a few $100s before you have an issue with this, or a few $1,000s or whatever. Anyway, carry on.
The point I'm trying to make is that if I take that chicken coop and I put it here, right here in the front, Mr. Schmidt, right here, that is an attractive nuisance versus not on the side. So, Ms. Holgerson, I'd like to know, because you had brought the attractive nuisance up last time, what is the difference if I put it here versus here?
So, do you want me to speak?
No.
Okay.
No, this is public comment.
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect.
Caught that.
This is public comment. No, here we go.
He just shut her down. He asked her a question. Vasily asked her a question. And she has to look at Bill and say, do you want me to speak? He says, no. And he gestured, no. Strike one.
Fine, because I know that there's no difference. I have another diagram where this is a house. I blocked it out because I wasn't sure for privacy. But the main road is on the back lot. And so this is not an attractive nuisance, but if it was in the front, it is. But they're still on a street. I'll go back to my current location.
He's
You
making
say
a
an
mockery
attractive
of their
nuisance is
policy.
harmful to children. So if a child were to jump the fence here, no harm. But if they jump the fence here and then walk over, attractive nuisance or not, I mean, I think we opened up a can of worms here by using the attractive nuisance as a reason that location is now on the regulations. I'm going to ask the board to revisit that line item because I still can't get an answer as far as where the front yard, what the difference in the health risk for the front yard versus the side yard, even in the backyard, what's the health difference?
What is abutting the backyard? What is that?
That's a street here, but also my front yard of my neighbors.
Okay,
So, but that would be the back.
so that is someone's side yard with the grass there?
Correct.
And what's on that other side there?
That's a little, this is a neighbor as well.
Like a driveway or?
Driveway, yeah. So I'm still asking the Board of Health what well, I guess what the health risk is of a front yard versus the side yard versus the backyard, if there's any differences. I know that, Ms. Dalton, you reviewed the BU article that you guys had sent to the town council. I'm pretty sure there was no reference of location on that. I'm pretty sure you can confirm that you did not read that there is a health risk as far as front yard, side yard, and backyard. And Ms. Holgerson reviewed the other article, and I also took a look at that, and there was nothing about location in that as well. So I asked you that you guys take a look, maybe find a couple other resources I had asked Mr. Schmidt to provide some data or some resources as far as what the difference in health is for the front, the side, the back. And I would like.
And I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Do the chickens, do they stay in that house or do
Stay right here in this coop.
they don't ever leave that coop and go out in front? Okay.
They'd be doing the same exact thing here, versus here.
So they never
Yes, yeah.
walk up to the fence at all? They always stay?
If I am there,
Yeah,
if I'm taking one out to just move it from this little area to this area, but no, they're not out by themselves.
okay.
No. So they're always in that coop that was approved. And like I said, if I move it from here to here,
Right.
or even if like I said, it's not allowed here, but if I go 1 little centimeter over, it's okay, because it's considered the side yard. So, I mean, I know visuals can help, and I do have a handout of this. I'm going to ask to put it in the record, because I do think this provides a very good reason as far as there is no health basis or health risk towards the location of a coop. Thank you.
So that's clip 1, right?
How many of these do you have?
There's 7 more.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, they get pretty good. They get pretty good. I got rid of all the other. So we got to build this up now. We got to build the case, right?
Understand that if the audience that watches this could see the actual maps, it would have that much more impact. I mean, Vasily got the satellite shots of his property, and he took a sample property where there was no chicken coop, and he obliterated the policy. They're going to allow, I mean, they said he can put it on the side yard. The side yard apparently has some issue for him. I don't think he really wants to move the coop because it looks like there's cement and it looks like there's a lot of work there. I don't know. None of my business. He has a right to fight the fight. I tend to agree with him that this is much to do about nothing, and they're wrong. The big question to end this, right? Like, if you're worried about people getting sick, which is a legitimate concern of the Board of Health, no one's been getting sick. In fact, 1,200 chicken coops generally don't get people sick from the thing that she's worried about. Someone would have to walk by, an immunocompromised person or a pregnant woman would have to walk by. Here we go. This is back when I was yelling about the virus, about the vid. Someone would have to walk by the coop at the same time the dirt was being turned so that the mildew that causes this issue would be airborne. And then they'd have to actually breathe it in, and their immune system would have to completely fail. Even when they're immunocompromised, there are different degrees of. Anyway, I'm no doctor, but and here's the question for you, Scott, from me to you. Since when, and I mean no disrespect to the immunocompromised, some of my dear friends are immunocompromised, and they take precautions. They don't expect society to step out of their way, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I agree. This is a stretch. This is an overreach.
Big time.
Yeah. This is them sitting together going, yeah, that sounds good. And I'm making light of it, but it's exactly what it sounds like. They all came up with something. At one point during one of these conversations, I think it'll be, because this is a 2-part show, that we still have I didn't want to put, it's almost a 2-hour Board of Health meeting. And a lot of it was relevant. And I didn't want to just drench it all into one show. So on Monday night, we'll pick up the second half. It's not as contentious as the first half, but there's some interesting points in there. So this is chicken clip 2 is Lane Petrie steps in and becomes a voice of, batting in the second position. And she comes with some very valid, logical, reasonable points.
She makes great arguments.
So here we go. This is Lane Petrie.
I am Lane Petrie. I'm in precinct 3, and I have a couple of points that I would ask for you to revisit. One being the setback. The restrictions in neighboring communities are much smaller than the 10 feet that Winthrop has recently expanded ours to. In Boston, if you have an opaque barrier, your chicken coop can be on your property line. The wall or fence can be built in as part of the coop. So that's a 0-foot difference compared to what we have now, which is 10, which feels very, very restrictive. The other is that I also share a concern about health. I have a 6.5-year-old. She loves our pets and animals. She's out there handling them and gathering eggs and feeding them with me. So as I mentioned before, my flock is certified by the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources. They do those tests for free. So my ask is that if you are able to revisit these regulations and make chicken ownership more equitable and available to our residents, you would consider asking that chicken owners have their flocks tested and certified by the state. And I think that would maybe help alleviate some of the health concerns. And the last point is the minimization or the decrease from 12 chickens down to 6. I have more than 6 chickens, and I'm wondering what the expectation is with the chickens that I have that are more than 6 and how.
How many do you have?
12.
Kill them. With the new regulations, you can't.
I can't kill them?
No.
Oh, geez. What are they gonna do? Sell them?
I could sell them because my flock is certified with the state, so I could. I wouldn't. I don't know which one to choose if I choose.
Pets. It was an offhand joke, by the way, because
better talk.
Pets. So that's my other ask.
Do a couple things. Well,
Sell them because my flock is certified with the state, so I
Better
could. I
listen.
wouldn't. I don't know which one to choose if I choose popcorn or bubble gum. They're our pets, so that's my other ask.
Here we go. Bill can't help himself, okay? He's going to ask a question that as absolutely as ignorant as it gets. He's going to make a point.
couple things. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So we have setbacks issue. We have the 12 chickens issue. We have.
And I guess just to consider using the free state testing resources as, I guess, a mediation point in order to.
How long is that? How long, when they're
1 year.
certified, how long? They're good for 1 year?
1 year. So my chickens are tested healthy through July.
Do they come out to
Well,
you?
what-
Yes,
let me-
they come to
just
me.
a- So how did,
Chip, chip. See him? He shut her up.
He did.
He went chip, chip. He just shut her up
I
again.
missed that night. Wow. Good catch.
Again, he shuts her. Well, 32 years of law enforcement, I hear everything.
Wow.
I pick up everything. Just remember that when you're talking to me. I hear everything. So he shut her up the second time. Now, listen to this point he makes.
they go from healthy to unhealthy?
Well, if you test a mediation
Let me
point
back it up.
in order to.
How long is that? How long, when they're
1 year.
certified, how long? They're good for 1 year?
1 year. So my chickens are tested healthy through July.
Do they come out to
Well,
you?
what-
Yes,
let
they
me-
come to
just
me.
a- So
Shut her up
how
again.
do they go from healthy to unhealthy?
Well, if you test.
What I'm saying, if you test them, can't they get unhealthy anytime between that year period?
I suppose if an infected seagull flies overhead or something.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're right, they could,
I mean, it's like if I have a COVID test and I'm negative, I could get COVID the next day.
but you also aren't necessarily testing the next day. So it's on the owner to test the
Nice.
animal. Just like it was with any pet. But at least it's a safeguard, you know, it's.
No, I understand. It's not necessarily I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but I'm just
I hear you.
wondering, when they say it's good for a year, how do we know what happens in that year period?
Okay, women. Okay, women. All my female friends, all the women I love in my life, all the women watching this show. By Bill the Shill Schmidt's rationale, don't bother getting checked for breast cancer. Don't. Everyone gets your yearly checkup.
You never know what could happen within a year.
Because according to Bill, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't get your checkup. Don't. Because according to this guy, this misogynist, right?
Oh boy, Scott's mad.
No, this is stupid. Literally stupid rationale. This guy who thinks he's so intelligent has come to the bottom of the barrel, basically saying anything that says, oh, it's good, come back in a year and get checked again. Well, why bother? Because it can happen anytime. Then why do they even say come back in a year? Why is that? This is what he's saying to her.
We might as well not get the vaccine either. Right?
Might as well not get it.
On the vaccine. He loves it.
Because it doesn't matter.
It is.
So he thinks he's smarter than everybody else in the room. Narcissistic behavior.
He was digging there. He was looking for something. Yeah. He was trying to get something. And let me tell you, that the way he dismissed Jeannie like that is
third time.
That's stomach turning to me.
Third time.
Oh my God. Okay.
He shuts her up. I hope she's watching this, or if somebody that knows her. We are not against her. We have no problem with her. It's her rationale might not be the most logical, but at least she's a logical person who engages intelligently, not authoritatively, like this guy does. This guy needs to go, number one. And this is just the beginning, people. It's just the beginning. So let's carry on. And Lane is nice. Like she wasn't being adversarial, right?
Oh, so, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So I'm going to back it up and we'll pick it up from there.
I understand. It's not necessarily I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but I'm just.
I hear you.
Wondering.
I'm just.
When they say it's good for a year, how do we know what happens in that year period?
You're right. You don't.
Excuse me.
Why did something happen?
So.
I'm
just making note of that. So we have setback, number of chickens, and the testing, right?
Yes. Thank you.
And it's very obvious why I don't get along with this guy.
I don't think many people do. Okay. Again,
John Munson likes him. John Munson said he's a nice guy. I don't know. John likes
that's John's opinion. Maybe John likes hanging around with narcissists. I don't know. I mean, I like John. I'm not saying that maybe John has a he just is comfortable around a narcissist. I don't know. Or he's very tolerant. All right, this is video clip 3. Let me see. What is this one? Okay. There's a couple of clips. Dude, this absolutely blows the doors off of all of their logic and reasoning for this. For the chicken coop, the health risks, and it's a little blurb that, again, nobody caught it in the room, and I will point it out. But here we go. This is chicken clip 3. Dude, you missed this one, and you're going to hear it, and you're going to go, what? All right. Here we go.
Yep.
This is
Kurt. Precinct 2. I actually will just kind of reiterate some of what Lane Guthrie just said. I actually have the NPIP document for the testing. I'll leave some for you to look over. Right there for you. It is free. You call, they come and do it, and you're ready to go. You can actually go to exhibitions. You can treat it as a hobby. But
Bring them to schools.
bring them to schools, bring them here to this
Silly.
meeting also. And then the other document that I'd like you to look over lists a whole bunch of zoonotic diseases that can be passed by your favorite pets,
See
dogs,
that one too, please?
which is beyond what chickens have.
But chickens have diseases too.
But what I'm saying is,
Hear him, he goes, but chickens have diseases too. He can't help himself.
Can't.
Cannot help himself, but gets better.
We don't have any control over dogs, as you know.
we actually do because we require them to get the rabies
Yeah,
shot.
but we, Board of Health, you have the town clerk actually.
Might need
has
to read on that
jurisdiction.
a little bit.
Well, we tried to,
So the document.
wait a minute,
right here-
excuse me. We had checked this. We had,
This is public speaking. This is the public speaking part, right?
Mhm.
But he's shutting down somebody who's trying to talk.
Mhm.
Narcissistic behavior because he can't help himself.
checked this when they asked me to license
Look at me.
Sandy Paws, and we found out from the town's lawyer that Woods Health have no jurisdiction over dogs.
Okay,
It's the animal control officer and the town clerk.
okay. But as for sickness and health, Board of Health is responsible for that. So,
Animals.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? He
Bill?
said, not animals.
Yeah, yes, I heard that in the meeting that night.
Not animals. What are we talking about then? Are chickens not animals?
Oh,
No, listen to this
yeah,
again. Listen.
identifiers people.
Listen to what he says. This absolutely, that clip right there blows the doors off of everything. The next meeting, this clip needs to be mentioned that he said right here, all knowing, all powerful, the mighty Oz said, not animals. Board of Health has not animals. We don't control animals. Doesn't that defeat everything that they're trying to oppose?
okay.
Listen,
It's on
As
the
for
record.
sickness
We
and health,
use it.
Board of Health is responsible for that. So,
Animals.
not animals.
On animals.
Bill. What are you doing, buddy? You just said it.
This is, by the way, this was the same guy you remember with the comments about Marianne's hair, and I think he commented on her weight or how pretty she looked or something.
Yeah. Narcissistic, misogynistic. He's everything that the liberals don't like, but he is. And he's a liberal.
Yep.
So he just said no, not animals. So this is his defense.
Yeah.
But then he's going to go on and defend that what they're saying that chickens are unhealthy. Hey, welcome to the show.
Good work there.
Welcome to the show. I just want to run that clip one more time. Let's hear that, and then I'll let Kurt finish.
Board of Health is responsible for that. So,
Animals.
in the document right here, if you look down in the paragraph,
So that was Kurt goes on to describe, the paperwork that he had and the health issues and that dogs pose more of a threat than chickens do, right? And all valid points.
Yep.
All valid points. But
Yep.
the fact that he said, not animals, we're not responsible for animals. All right, let's see. Let's get back into Kurt's.
Yeah, I want to hear he brought up a CDC stat that I'm forgetting.
I believe I have it.
was also 5. So for some reason, we went to 10, which is, we had 5. And there's no reasoning behind why we went to 10.
This
You
is
know
the
what the current
setback, the
zoning,
footage, right?
Our current ordinance says 5.
No, it doesn't.
Rear,
The Winthrop current
Winthrop,
ordinance,
rear and
I'll
side,
tell you,
5.
no, the Winthrop current ordinance basically says this. Agrees with what Lane says about 12 chickens. Hen house should be no less than 50 feet from a dwelling. The hen house should be no less than 20 feet from any public or private way. And the hen house should be not less than 50 feet from the butter. That's the current one. Now, if we had held all the current licenses, which we didn't have this regulation in place, none of the folks here tonight who have chickens would be able to have them. Because I don't think anybody here can meet those 50-foot requirements.
Okay, I'll send you the document that I found on our
What?
Unicode that's
Well,
fine.
I have the ordinance right here if you want to look at it.
Okay, I've read through all of everything.
It's right-
I think,
right
I'm
here.
pretty thorough on the ordinance.
Well, I can show you the ordinance right now.
Argumentative. Absolutely argumentative. Won't let Kurt get his point across. Cannot help himself. Total douche right now.
Is this cause? Quick time out. Is this cause? Because this man can be removed for cause. Why doesn't this qualify? The way he's treating the citizenry and the women.
Yeah, like Kurt says, he didn't even know who gives permits, this guy. But he's all knowing.
He's a middle-aged white man. They should be wiping him out right now. The way
he
he's
doesn't
talking to
like
these women.
middle-aged white men either. Remember, he has
he
white
identifies
guilt.
as a
He
black
has
man.
white guilt.
Does he identify?
No,
as
no,
something
he
other
just
than a white man?
identifies as a liberal white beta male that has white guilt.
I don't understand how. I really don't understand how he gets away with that behavior. I would never do that to
Misogynistic.
any woman ever. And I've been called a misogynist by a certain
And
group of
that's,
people.
you know,
I've
no.
never done that.
but he does it in a public forum. Narcissistic. Narcissistic behavior. And people that are narcissists should never be in charge of anything. All right, let's see. Yeah, Kurt said he was trying his hardest not to be argumentative, and you did a good job, Kurt.
He did a great job, better than I did.
No, I want to.
See that? Nope. I'm going to get my point across. I'm Bill the Shill Schmidt, and I don't care where we are. I am going to get my point across. This is what this narcissist dictator acts like.
The
Listen.
ordinance right here if you want to look at it.
Okay, I've read through all of everything.
It's right-
I think,
right
I'm
here.
pretty thorough on the ordinance.
Well, I can show you the ordinance right now.
Okay. So, but still,
No,
there's
no,
no reason for us to put 10 feet.
I want to, because when people are making statements, I want to be clear, we've looked at this thing. It's not.
This is public statement time.
Mm-hmm. They should just be allowed to
He
talk.
needs to
We can
sit
correct
there
it
and
later.
shut the hell up, is what he needs to do. That's what you do
Not
when you
running
run a
it,
board. This guy is not fit to run this board. He's out of control. He's been flying under the radar for way too long. Jim Lettieri needs to get rid of this guy. He has absolutely lost control, no professionalism. This is the public speaking part of it. He says, nope. You are going to listen to me.
He should just not have public comment because he cannot do it correctly. He does not have to have, I mean, it would be lousy, don't get me wrong, but he does not have to have public comment.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know what? Because people are going to have public comment here. These still have to be aired. These still have to be Zoomed.
I agree completely.
And this is not the end of us and Bill the Shill Schmidt. This is just the beginning. This guy makes Bon Corey look like a saint.
Depends. Sometimes when it's behind, when it's overt like this, it's a little bit.
Now,
less,
remember,
you
this
know.
guy's covert too.
I
Remember the
think you're
behind
right.
the scenes trying to get all the heads of all the committees to put this liberal
That's
gay
true.
agenda together and present it to the town council. He did that during a Board of Health meeting.
That's right.
So there we go.
Not like we're taking things out of thin air.
Kurt just
Okay, so
standing there.
even if I take you at word right now for the ordinance, I'll move on so we don't tie this up.
Right.
With
Attaboy,
all these
Kurt.
other cities that we're referencing and that we've looked over, their ordinances are making it easier for the setbacks.
And so wait, from the present ordinance.
So, but
Here's the
there is
present-
no
present ordinance right
facts
here.
behind why we go to 10 where we're referencing other cities.
No, references, we're making determinations in Winthrop what we think is best.
Okay,
I just read that.
So-
What's that?
Did you read that?
What, the ordinance?
Yeah.
I just told you. Birds and fowls, the maximum number of the fowls kept in a hen house shall be 12. Said hen house shall be not less than 50 feet from any dwelling, no less than 20 feet from any public or private way, and no less than 50 feet from about a live fowl shall be confined at all times and not permitted to run at large. No rooster shall be kept in a residential area within the town limits. That's the town ordinance.
Now that's Jack Dowd sitting in the front row. And I'm telling you, like a silent assassin. Because he drops two bombs later on very subtly. Like, he's just as patient as a plant. Bides his time.
Was he a sniper? Was he a
I
sniper
don't
in
know.
a past
He must
life?
have been. Bides his time, waits patiently, doesn't get excited, but he comes up with two bullets later on. Here we go.
I'll email you the one that I found.
Well,
That's on the books also. Because it's there, or I wouldn't have said it.
well, okay, send it to all of us, because this is what I got off the town website, the town Muni code.
Yep.
So I don't know where you're getting it from.
Okay. So touching on that still, where you said you referenced Revere. Revere
Well, we
is
looked
fine.
at a lot, you
You
know,
looked at Newton.
looked at a lot of ones, and they all have different, they're not all exactly the same.
So the idea of going to a 10-foot rear and side is not comparable to anybody else right now, that they've been less restrictive to welcome urban farming. And we used to be a farm town. But what I'm requesting is definitely review to see, which yes, we can change the regulation at any time. You guys have the power to do that. And base it off from what is best for those who already have chickens and those who do want chickens. Making a decision to say, we're gonna have a 10-foot setback with no facts driving behind it, it's kind of not fair to the community. It's more of a dictatorship saying, you're just gonna do this because we say so.
Well,
Putting the facts behind that, and we probably.
I mean, if there's not like one fact, so every community is different. So you
Yes.
can't, you can say, for instance, Boston, for instance, said you can't have any hives closer than 10 feet from a public sidewalk. So different communities have different things. They're not all exact. So if you take something from one, you're saying, well, it's not a fact because somebody else is different? No, each board makes a decision what they think is best for their community.
Yes,
And that's what we're doing.
and
So we're not a dictatorship.
so we're requesting, as people who have and own and want chickens, to please review that 10-foot setback, because it really does not make sense from a community.
Okay.
And then the other point I want to make is that you guys did have a public hearing on November 10th, and it was verified from the transcript that it was only posted for 1 week prior to the public hearing. And that was verified with the transcript.
Right, so do you know boards of health do not even have to have a public hearing? From the state, if you check
Here we go. Here's where he gets on his pedestal.
that out,
I will
we
definitely
don't,
check
even-
that
we don't even have to have a public comment period. In fact, we have public comments, we're not required, we have to have posted open meetings. We're not required to have public hearings. We do,
You do.
because we want to.
Those in the right amount of time.
No, it is the right amount of time.
Okay. All right, I'm done speaking. Thank you very little.
Thank you very little. All right, let's see. Now we're going to go to,
It's infuriating to watch this.
what was that? That was Kurt. Now we're going to go to clip number. This is where Jack Dowd pulls out his first assassin bullet. Very simple. Very simple.
Okay, so that includes.
So we have,
Accessory use building.
so we have 5 people right now
So
who,
the other question, I only have one more question, Bill, and why did you go to this particular address and question whether that chicken coop should or shouldn't be in the front yard? Was there a
Boom. Shot fired. We are about to, he is about to get exposed. There we go.
and question whether that chicken coop should or shouldn't be in the front yard? Was there a complaint?
actually was over at their house for an event.
You guys still friendly?
After this, no.
Okay, so so you're over his house, you saw.
I wasn't at, well,
You're over his house because Chris, you know, it's a small town. And then you saw it, so you said to yourself, I'm going to change this.
no. Anyway.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
Exactly what he
happened.
did.
2 weeks after,
No.
2 weeks after the visit,
No, first-
came back again and said, you can't put it here, it's gotta be on the side
Wait,
yard.
Excuse me,
Right.
first of all, we have
Those are the
one,
facts.
Don't go back and forth.
excuse me, one, you want to make a statement, make a statement.
Why did you choose this particular?
You okay?
You chose this particular house.
I know I didn't choose anything, Jack.
Well, you were there and then it happened.
We were in the process of doing these regs,
all right.
well, before,
I understand.
and we can document it, well
It
before
happened.
with the, and Tracy Hunter could tell you, we were always in favor of having,
Tracy Honan. Has nothing to do with the Board of Health.
He's gonna miss her when
But
she steps
that's
down.
why I call him Bill the Shill. He shills for her. He shills anything
used
she
to be on it,
wants.
you know.
Bill does for her. He's a shill.
She was on the BOH,
But still,
before.
she's not now.
No, she's not.
She's not now. But he tried to shill for her for that, that trans agenda thing, and he'll do anything Tracy asks. But the other women in the room disregards them.
Chicken coops, not in the front yard. I said to him the first time that we would give you a variance until we had the
It
regulation.
wasn't bothering anybody in the neighborhood besides yourself.
Bingo.
No, it's
And
not.
then why couldn't you leave well enough alone?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
And just to add,
Yes, thank you.
Tracy Honan rescinded her draft from 2016 saying that no, front yard should not be included in that draft.
Well, that's maybe her perspective.
Boom.
The fact of the matter is we were
And
starting.
300 other people's perspective too. Now, Tracy
Listen to
Honan
what he
Excited
says.
here,
Listen.
rescinded her draft from 2016 saying that no, front yard.
Now, he just used her as his example. Bill the Shill did, right? And listen.
Yard should not be included in that draft.
Well, that's maybe her perspective. But the fact of the
He just
He's
jumped to saying me and
unbelievable.
Tracy Honan to now,
He's
well, that's her
unbelievable.
perspective. This guy has no bottom. He has no bottom. He has no bottom. This guy cannot hit bottom.
Perhaps he's completely unaware. Come on, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's
No, he's an
completely unaware.
intelligent guy, but he's a narcissist. He has no bend or
Then let's pray
in him.
for him.
He has no compromise in him.
Let's all meditate and pray for this guy.
He
Send him some
he
good juices.
just used her like literally 22 seconds before this.
You can't make this stuff
Then he
up.
says,
And
well, that's
everybody
her.
else who doesn't call him out or agree with this is
He didn't even know that she went back and rescinded what she had said. He didn't even know it because he's so caught up in himself and being the head of the Board of Health. This guy is a disgrace. I can't even be mad because it's just out of this. It's just unbelievable what we're watching right here. This
wait, this isn't cause? This
guy's incompetent.
This isn't cause? He should
Dude,
be
he's been
removed.
getting away with this for years. For years. No one has called him out until us. Until this show. Nobody is calling.
Should
This
be
guy
removed.
needs to go. A change needs to be made. That's all there is to it.
Sheryl Crow. Cue Sheryl
He
Crow.
just used her as his example, then turns around and says, well, that's her perspective. 22
Well,
seconds
her perspective
later.
only matters when it lines up, Her perspective only matters when it lines up with his agenda, apparently.
Narcissists don't bend and they don't compromise because it's all about them. I have to be right. And I will argue with you. That's why he has no bottom. Guy has no bottom. So here we go.
And just to add, Mr. Dowd, Tracy Honan rescinded
I wanna hear
her
it again.
draft from 2016 saying that no, front yard should not be included in that draft.
Well, that's maybe her perspective. But the fact of the matter is we were
And
starting.
300 other people's perspective too.
So he just said in 300 other people's perspective. Because he has a book of people, 300 people that signed. These are voters. These are taxpayers. These are neighbors. These are friends. These are strangers. These are people that said, hey, you got a nice thing here. This is a nice thing. It's not intrusive. We'll sign your book, right? And he didn't even go like, really hardcore to look to get those signatures. But this is what Bill says about the 300 citizens of Winthrop. 300. There's town council members that didn't get 300 votes that are sitting on that town council board. Think of that, right? This is what Bill the Shill Schmidt thinks. And Kurt says he got more signatures than you need to run for the council. Exactly. So let's see what Bill the Shill Schmidt says about the 300 people took the time to sign Vasily's, his book on support for his chicken coops.
It's not an issue in terms of where you get signatures. Quite frankly, almost
It should be, because guess what? They're the voices of the town.
No. they're not.
Absolutely.
Listen, this is not a decision that's made by the town council, and the Board of Health and every community has the authority to make regulations for the simple fact that they want to be made on public health issues, not based on who can get the most votes at the council meeting.
But it's a little scary
Well,
that
you
you
might
guys
think so.
you have the votes, 3 votes to put a regulation
That's correct.
into power without even approval from the town council.
We also have the
It's a little
right,
scary with
we
that.
also have the right, if there was an issue, to declare a public health emergency.
Look at me. Look at me. I can do that. I'm Bill the Shill. Look at me. I can declare a national emergency. Look at me. That's what he basically just said. I can also do
I think
this.
he did it during the pandemic. He was
said
part of the
that-
whole day.
This is the second time he said it. He said it at the last meeting also.
Yeah, he says it whenever he can.
That's the power that's given to boards of health.
Is there a public health emergency with this?
Well, I'm just saying, no, but I'm saying,
No.
boards of health have lots of authority.
Doesn't matter. See, he's going way above and beyond. He's overreaching. He's throwing his authority at this. You know, like Vasili's an idiot. Very intelligent man, that kid. No doubt.
He did his
Yes.
homework.
And Bill's talking to him like he's an idiot.
Authority to do things. That's the way it is. Any other public comment?
Well, we know who's coming next. My boy on the other end of the microphone.
I have to say, it's not one of my shiniest moments. That's not one of my worst moments.
Well,
that's for sure.
no, I'm gonna give you credit. You tried, but this guy
You wouldn't let me.
let me see. I got you. I have to Jack the Assassin. This is Chicken Clip 6. Todd's rant. Let's see, here we go. Next person up.
Todd Sacco, Precinct 2. I don't have a dog in this fight.
We're talking about chickens, not dogs.
You hit. So now he's a joker. Now he's a joker. Can't help himself. Has to talk during the public speaking thing. Cannot help himself. This narcissist has to get his words in. You will not. And you haven't even started. You don't even begin to start. And he jumps right at you.
He got me in that shot. He got me in that shot.
Yeah, but you come back with a good one. Here we go.
Todd Sacco, Precinct 2. I don't have a dog in this fight.
We're talking about chickens, not dogs.
The sense of humor is not very good either.
Better than yours.
Oh, now
What are we, 12? What is he, 12 years old? This guy. This is the head of the Board of Health people of Winthrop. This, Jim Lettieri, if you're watching this is your guy. This is your guy.
Well, Bon Corey appointed him, but you got him
He's
now,
got him.
buddy.
He's under Jim's watch.
Gotta get him out.
This is your guy. He made a juvenile comment. Absolute 2 juvenile comments. This guy's supposed to run this board with integrity. If they have that much power, right? They have that much power. Shouldn't you carry that with authority and integrity, right? And professionalism? Not this guy. This guy is a clown.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing worse than a narcissistic clown. They're the worst. All right, here we go. It's better than your joke. I'm funnier than you, Todd.
you want to be combative.
I'm rubber.
No, I'm saying because you.
But you can't regulate dogs.
I got to bring
I
that
don't have a
back.
dog in this fight.
Let it
We're
go.
talking about chickens, not dogs.
The sense of humor is not very good either.
Better than yours.
Oh, now you want to be combative. Okay.
No, I'm saying because you.
But you can't regulate dogs.
Listen, you said you're just going to listen, but you've done nothing but talk back to everybody.
because they're
So
raising-
I'm going to bring the temperature.
When somebody makes a
You won't
statement
stop.
that's incorrect, I will correct them because they're making statements that are incorrect.
Okay.
Narcissist.
I got you. All I'm asking you here right now is this. We are supposed to be a community here, okay? I would ask you to consider some things and maybe for 1 minute, take a step off of your position and try to put yourselves in these people's shoes and anyone else that might want a chicken and what's going on in the economy today. I don't know how much money you save by having eggs.
I bought eggs in a year.
I don't know why you're empathetic to some things, but not this. I don't get it. But try to do that for a minute. Because number one, you brought up this issue about COVID and comparing it to chicken sickness. And they're not even comparable. I mean, you're restricting chickens. If they get tested by the state, you were worried about what happens within a year, but you're all for COVID and masks and shots and doesn't care what happens you don't care what happens within a year. You're selective. It's not reasonable. But put that aside. There is not a single health risk here. There's none. There's been 0 issues with avian flu in Winthrop. And I think, what was your statistic?
There was one human case in the country in the past 2 years.
One human case in the entire country, and you're creating this issue. I understand that the ordinance in the past was 50 feet, whatever you may have seen. I don't want to debate that. Again, we're supposed to be a community here. We should be encouraging farming. We have more restrictive chicken coop regulations than Cambridge, Somerville, and some of these other Looney Tune cities that typically restrict everything. I'm getting a little angry, so allow me to calm down.
My man.
This is not right. We're supposed to be a community here. There should be more compromise, not this fist of
All right.
Marxist power or whatever it is you've got going on here. We are the authority. There's nothing here for you to be authoritative about. And if you're that concerned about public health, when you dismiss the dog poop issue out of hand, we don't cover that. Well, dog poop's actually more dangerous because it's on the sidewalk.
Okay,
You want to talk? Go ahead.
you have more?
Yeah, go.
So, listen, we would love maybe if we had the authority. We can only do things we have authority. We have no authority over. Sharon Ciccarella asked me if we can do something about cats in this town. No, we have
I'm
no
not
authority.
suggesting you
No,
have
I'm not-
authority
no,
over
no.
the dog poop. Hold
We
on.
have no authority.
I don't care.
I understand. So when it comes down
So
to.
you want to keep talking over
No,
me?
I'm saying, so when it comes down, when you're
Come on.
raising issues that are.
I'm not raising an issue, I'm making an example. There's more danger in dog poop, okay? I understand you don't see that, but there's more danger in the goose poop. My kids used to come home from practice with it smeared on their asses and in their shoes.
It's not relevant. what you're
It is
talking about.
relevant.
It is relevant.
It is relevant.
That is
We have no
relevant.
authority over that.
That's not the point.
It's like facility.
You don't get to decide my point, I do. Can you
Facility-
allow me to make my point?
Then make it.
I'm trying to, but you keep cutting me off.
Juvenile.
You brought these
He's
up-
totally
You
juvenile.
brought up the example of the sickness issue. There is no sickness issue. Okay? I understand you don't have the purview over the dogs and the goose poop. But the fact of the matter is, that's far more dangerous. Ergo, you shouldn't be so restrictive on this.
On chickens.
You shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, here's the biggest problem I have. I sat here and watched 4 people talk. I saw Jeannie try to say something. I heard you say several times, we're not going to talk, we'll address it later, yet you kept talking. You dismissed her out of hand. You were rude to her.
3 times.
And you're looking down while people are talking. You're rude. You're rude. You're rude.
Rude.
Keep your comments to yourself.
That a boy. That a boy. He is rude.
I wasn't as bad as I thought,
Huh?
actually. I wasn't as bad
No,
as I
you
thought.
weren't.
I
You
mean,
were
I
very
could've
passionate.
really
You were very passionate. You got your points across, and you called him out for what he was doing.
And I didn't call him any
He
names.
dismissed those girls.
It's rude.
The one in the room. What was that? Is that Jeannie?
That's Jeannie.
Yeah,
in
he
the room,
dismissed her 3 times, and Marianne, he dismissed her once at the beginning. But yet he can talk all he wants. People, do you see this? This is not
Endlessly
an anomaly.
talk.
This is not an anomaly.
Oh, no.
This is
no.
his every meeting. This is how he does business. See, Todd, Steve Stevens said you did a great job. You
Thank
know,
you,
you did.
Steve
You presented yourself as best you could with the adversarial attitude that he had. Juvenile, to the worst extent. Like, he really went like elementary school. Like, my sense he was better than yours.
Better than yours. I was going to call him Jim Ignatowski, but he wouldn't have
No,
got
he
it.
wouldn't This is the problem.
Yeah, it's better
This
I
is
did-
the problem.
better I
This
did.
guy is the problem. So good on you, Todd. Good you. So let's see. What's
Wait.
the next clip that we have? We're almost done. We're up on clip 7. This is this
Triple
Todd
Creek.
part 2? I have this as. So we're coming down to the stretch. We get 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, boy, I'm in again? Ah, no.
7, 8, and 9. Let me see. Why does this one say 1 hour and 21 minutes? Hold on. This clip might not be getting to this one.
Boy.
See, I might have made an
Get the goof.
editing problem here. Hold on. Let's see where this one goes.
30 seconds, please. Thank you. I think you should review this whole situation, and from here on in, go into case.
All right, jacked out, the silent assassin, the patience of a plant, right? He is. He is.
He
He
is.
just sits there. It's amazing.
Yes.
Everybody else in there is fidgeting, is moving around, agitated. Jack sits there, just waiting to take his shot. Now listen to what he says here. This makes all the sense in the world right here.
30 seconds, please. Thank you. I think you should review this whole situation, and from here on in, go on a case-by-case basis about locations of chicken coops.
Okay, so I want to say a few things.
Which makes all the sense in the world, right?
I'm not shocked.
The appeals board, that's what the appeals board is for, right? Everything that goes to the appeals board is a case-by-case basis. But Bill the shill Schmidt, the narcissist, is like, no, my rule is law. There will be no second guessing my decision. And you'll hear him say it. If it's not in these clips, it's in the next week's clips, next Monday night's clips, where he says, my members, like the other two women, not the other members. He says, my members. I hope these women are watching this, or if you know them, please get their attention and have them watch how he treats them in public on a Zoom meeting. And now it's out here. Now it's out here.
I want to know where all the women warriors are.
Look,
where are all the feminist warriors?
I take no pleasure in watching him disrespect those women. I really don't. And I'm being absolutely sincere here. And I was kind of uncomfortable like watching it. And I'm like, well, but I got to put it out here because this is what he does. This is what he does. Okay, I'm going to go off to the right a little bit. Okay, like you, Todd, I've been called a misogynist. I've been called a toxic white male. I've been called an asshole. You know, the whole thing, right? But any woman that knows me knows, and I'm sure you're the same way, I am the most respectful man when it comes to that. I would never do that to a woman. Never. Never do that. And this guy, this screaming, white guilt liberal has all the misogynistic, narcissistic behavior right here. And just in this clip, in these clips, in this one show. This is all the time. The time he commented on her hair and in a meeting, right? In a Board of Health meeting. This guy is really a problem. He has to go. He's been doing it too long. He's way too comfortable. Would you agree?
Apps 100 bazillion
Way too
%.
comfortable. Been flying under the radar until Winthrop votes. And we're going to expose this guy. We're going to expose it. And so maybe he won't do public meetings anymore after this. If he doesn't, right, then we know we got to him. We know. Because now he's out, he's exposed. But the Zoom meetings will always exist. He has to do Zoom meetings or no?
What's that? One more time? Broke up a little in my head. I think the cool.
Does he have to do Zoom meetings or nothing or no?
When they don't have to, I don't believe, but they're strongly recommended that if they're in that room, do it. Turn it on. I mean, get it on the record. Why wouldn't you?
Or then we want minutes.
Oh yeah, minutes. I believe he keeps minutes, but I'm not. I think he's way behind on minutes, and I'm not sure if he falls. It. You know what? Even if he does follow, they fall under open meeting law. You can file all the complaints you want. The state
can somebody go to the meeting and record him?
Yeah, you just have to say, I'm here and I'm recording.
Steve Stevens said it. This guy is very toxic.
Yeah.
And I hope Jim Lettieri's watching this because it's his guy. I like Jim. I like Jim. I have no issue with Jim, but Jim has to kind of be on this and see this and understand what this guy has done. And he needs to talk to those other two board members. And they need to come out and be honest.
Right. I mean, I think he needs to at least sit down with Bill and have a cup of coffee and say, hey, listen, man, this all got to stop, this bickering.
I think he needs to talk to those girls first. I'm sorry to disagree with you.
I don't disagree. No, I don't disagree.
They the ones that they know more than we do.
They do.
So, all right, here we go.
So first of all, I've been friends with.
Oh, this is where he tries to plead his case. Watch. Yep. This is it's an epic fail. It's an epic fail. It's a case of too little, too late. Here we go.
Vasily and the Ciotos family for a long time. And if I was making a decision based on friendship, we wouldn't even be here. I would, I would bend over backwards to try to find a way to help Vasily, if I didn't believe it. So what I'm doing here is what I think is right. Now, people can disagree with it or not, that's fine. But there's no personal animosity on my part towards Vasily. In fact, just the opposite. Number two, in the process is well on its way, again, where this draft was before I even found out that he had chickens. And when he said with chickens, I told him we're drafting regulations. We're going to have no chickens in front yards. And he actually said he was going to move them to the side. Sent me an email.
I said I would move them to the side
Well,
until the new
no, excuse me.
No.
You made a mistake.
No.
Did he get to correct you?
I didn't make a mistake.
Yes, he did. You're putting words in his mouth.
I have the email.
There was 2-3 days in, Bill, and it was because I said, I'm not gonna move it because I don't want to cause any issues, but I'll wait until the new regulations come in, and then all of a sudden it was front yard. Bill, would you like me to read text messages and pick and send the pictures that you've sent me? Like, don't go there, Bill.
Vasily, we need those text messages. We do.
I know you're going to watch this one, Vasily.
We need those. I mean, this is what this guy can. If that's what ended Bon Corey. His bravado over text messages, right? His arrogance.
Yep.
All showed in text messages that we got. This guy has to go. If he's sending out of line text messages to a citizen under his Board of Health hat,
We could FOIA those, I think, if we could get the date.
let's foil him.
Got to get the date. Got to have a
Because-
willing participant share the
Yeah.
date.
Okay, that's a good idea. So let's kind of Vasily shuts him down, man.
30 seconds, please.
Policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see. I
Agree
missed
with
it.
it or not, that's fine.
30 seconds, please.
Agree with it or not, that's fine. But there's no personal animosity on my part towards Vasily. In fact, just the opposite. Number two, in the process is well on its way, again, where this draft was before I even found out that he had chickens. And when he said with chickens, I told him we're drafting regulations. We're going to have no chickens in front yards. And he actually said he was going to move them to the side. Sent me an email.
I said I would move them to the side
Well,
until the new
no, excuse me.
No.
You made a mistake.
No.
Did he get to correct you?
I didn't make a mistake.
Yes, he did. You're putting words in his mouth.
I have the email.
There was 2-3 days in, Bill, and it was because I said, I'm not gonna move it because I don't want to cause any issues, but I'll wait until the new regulations come in, and then all of a sudden it was front yard. Bill, would you like me to read text messages and pick and send the pictures that you've sent me? Like, don't go there, Bill. Don't go there,
Damn.
please.
Okay, so what I'm saying is,
Don't go there.
so,
He shut him down.
and it's not just up to me. We were a board of 3. So if this board wanted to do something different, I have 2 other members of the board, they certainly could do that. It's not just me, and it's where we decided that we thought this was best. Again, people can disagree with what they think is best, but that's the process.
Uncomfortable silence.
Okay.
One last quick comment, just, you do still have the right to change the regulations.
Absolutely. We can change any regulation at any time. We can make regulations more restrictive, less restrictive,
At any point.
at any point.
So,
And in fact,
that's what we're asking.
and-
That's all it is. Please
what I'm saying is,
rethink it.
and I understand that, but you have to all understand, which I'm taking personally, is people trying to disparage my motivations. we can disagree on the policy, but I think this is better, that's better. That's fine. But I'm not challenging Vasily's perspective that he has a right to believe what he does, and as well as everybody else. And you shouldn't be challenging us either to think we're doing what's right. That's where the process,
Put words in my mouth. I'm not challenging you for your motive.
that's where the process is breaking down. People are using words like Marxist, communist, all these kind of things. There's no,
The process broke down before I showed up, Bill.
what I'm saying is,
So don't tell me the process break down, we use Marxist terms. I said it's like that. I didn't call you it.
well, even
I'm tight with
reasoning
him.
like that, if I say
I'm a bunch of
somebody,
pants.
if I say somebody's like Hitler, I'm basically saying they're Hitler. That's a.
But that wasn't said.
Well, whatever, if you say somebody's like a Marxist.
I didn't say it, okay.
You're comparing them. What I'm saying is, nobody should be using that kind of language. I don't.
Oh, now you can
See
tell
how
me.
he deflects the issue?
I don't say,
That's
well,
fantastic.
you shouldn't be, I'm talking about anybody here shouldn't be characterizing anybody else on a personal
I was
level.
characterizing the policy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's very Marxist. It's like, I'm doing this. No one, listen,
Well, it could be very fascist.
I think you got,
You could use the word fascist, you could use a lot of
Well,
words.
thank you. What
Thank
else can I
you.
say?
Well, what I'm saying is, why did you just say you don't like the policy, rather than using labels?
I think he knows we don't like the
You know,
policy.
no one here likes, that's obvious.
Well-
No one here likes the policy except you and I don't know if you like it or not.
Well, we had a 3-0.
I understand that, but I feel like the way you treat these two, and you dismiss her, I bet they're afraid to speak up against you.
I don't think so.
I wish I could sit on that board. I wish I could sit on
So
that board.
maybe you will at some point.
No, I will never, because I'm not, apparently you have to have some type of medical education, which apparently is not even relevant in this case, because nobody's getting sick from chickens.
Okay, let's move on.
Blew this one, big
Julie,
chicken.
do you want to say anything at this point?
About what?
Listen,
Are we waiting to talk about this
Well,
at our?
Listen.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with the implementation issue further down, but I didn't know if you wanted to say anything based on any of the comments.
Oh, I thought we were listening and not
No, I'm
talking.
just saying,
You were told that.
no, I got
Well
carried away,
played.
and I'm just saying.
Shocker.
So we'll wait till, want to wait till it gets in?
Mary,
I would love to hear from Ms. Holgerson and Ms. Dalton at this moment, since
It's up to them.
Mr. Schmidt had the opportunity to
No,
speak.
wait for the agenda to come up and then.
it's up to
A
them,
little bit, and when the agenda comes up, then you have it.
it's up to them.
Maybe we should.
The reason I reacted is people were making, from my perspective, were making personal remarks about me, which I took offense.
Let me be fair then, Bill. If you took that from me, I sincerely mean this. I don't mean to call you a Marxist, a Hitler, or any of that. So I'm sorry.
But you didn't.
That's not what was intended.
Okay, well, that's why I reacted. I reacted to people saying things that I'm lying.
That's on
he
you.
reacted to everything he didn't agree with, not this whole, he's using that one little sentence as he's structuring everything around that. If you disagreed with him, and people can go back and watch this, he argued with everything. He argued your sense of humor.
He just got an apology he didn't deserve, and he won't shut up. He
This
keeps going.
guy is the most unprofessional public servant I think I've ever seen. I'm not making that
I've
up.
never seen anything. Oh, this is a
This
clown
guy
show.
is as unprofessional. I hope the town manager watches this. I hope that everyone in the city and then in town hall watches this. This guy who walks around like he's God is a joke. He's an absolute joke. And this is, like I said before the show, I'm not exaggerating this guy. You're seeing it. In 4K, as they say, caught in 4K. Caught in 4K.
Or that's
Well,
not-
I will say,
whatever.
okay.
That is a personal attack. I don't think. there's
So
any
was
place
me
for-
personally attacking for being like this when they were talking. That was rude, and that was
Well,
rude.
but I don't call, no, I was
Let's
going
get
to,
beyond this point so we can go on with.
You're
the
right. Let's
agenda.
move on.
Let's move on with the agenda, and you are gonna discuss this.
That a
in
boy,
the
Jack.
agenda Process. There
well,
was-
the board has to make decisions on whether we want, how we want to implement the regulation.
All right, let's go.
And that's an appropriate time, if any of my board members want to.
See, right there. You heard it.
Board
You
members,
heard it
yep.
right there. I told you. My board members. I hope those two girls, ladies, women, I'm sorry. I think I've referenced, I call them girls. Listen, they're young women. Okay. These women, these ladies, these wonderful ladies, wonderful women. I don't think they're offended if I call them girls. He just said My members. I want to catch that again. People, we got to hear this.
Because nobody's getting sick from chickens.
Okay.
Oh, we went back too far, but
Let's move on.
Blew this one, big
Do
time.
you want to say anything at this point?
About what?
Let me be fair then, Bill, if you,
Yes.
No,
Or,
I'm just saying,
I mean, we have other people.
we have
there
other,
too, so
some
I
other people there.
Want to be
Ann,
considerate.
do you want to say anything now, or do you want to wait till later, when we get to the issue?
I'll wait until we
Okay.
get to the issue. It's not,
Yeah.
it won't
well,
be
you
long.
heard it. He said,
Okay.
my members.
Thank you.
Now, this lady, I kept this lady in for a reason.
Just in terms of past business, I don't know, is Al McGee call in? I guess not, right? So we have nothing on these other items in past business, 76 Sunnyside, disposal bans, website, nothing, Marion, right?
No,
Okay. We have somebody from Same Visage here, I believe.
Yes,
All right, this
Sorry
lady's
for the delay.
relevant. She's relevant to this. Listen.
I don't even have to say about that. 45 minutes about chickens?
Could have
I'm-
been longer, Mary Ellen.
Oh, boy. Let them have their chickens, please.
There you go. There you go. Let them have their chickens. Right? And then she goes
Let 'em
on
have
to
'em.
say that the Board of Health made it so hard for her to do this business that she wanted to kind of incorporate to her spa, which is down the center. Evidently, she's been in business for 28 years. And listen, support her. What's the name of the place? I think it said Visage.
Same
Go down.
Visage.
This
It's
lady
right
was spot
down the
on. She
center.
was very good. She presented and she said that it's if they're doing to her what they're doing to chickens, it might not even be worth it.
Right.
So, but she did say let them have their chickens. So you heard him say my members,
I heard.
right? Narcissistic. There we go. And he's a white male, and he said that. A white liberal male. Shouldn't he be canceled from the Borg? Shouldn't they kick him out of the Borg?
Borg.
All right, here we go. This is Lane Part 2. And then this is a 90 seconds. And then we have one more after that, Todd, and then I'll let you go to bed. I know you're tired.
Oh, thank you, God.
You're the one who wanted 7:30, my friend. Not me. You said it. All right, here we go. This is Lane,
crazy.
voice of reason, Petrie, in all her niceness. Right?
Fine. Anyone else?
May I make one more lighthearted statement in favor of chickens?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to give her the
I came
screen.
across a fact that I wanted to mention earlier. There are two communities. There's one in Belgium and one in France, and they give out pairs of chickens to interested residents because it reduces waste in the community. The reduction in waste keeps the town's water supply cleaner, and they estimate that each chicken consumes between 100 and 150 pounds of essentially table scraps or waste that those families do not have to dispose of, that community doesn't have to pay to dispose of. So I don't know how Vasily feeds his chickens. I'm assuming it's something like mine where I feed them some of the pellets and I also feed any table scraps and leftovers that come out of my refrigerator. I haven't had kitchen scraps from my house since August. And like Vasily said, I also haven't had to buy eggs in my house since August. So there have been health benefits in my own household and in my neighborhood. All my neighbors bring any table scraps that they have, they know they can bring them my way. And in exchange, I give them some eggs. And so it winds up being a very healthy and helpful symbiotic relationship. I fill one trash bag a week of waste from my house, and I attribute a lot of it to the chickens. So I wanted to just, I guess, pitch another reason why making chicken ownership more accessible, why it's helpful and helpful for the residents of Winthrop. Thank you.
Healthful and helpful. Right?
Chickens are great. We want more
They
chickens.
want less chickens. They want to make it. All right, let's get to the final clip. And like I said, next Monday night, we'll pick up with, what's her name? Jeannie is the one that's up on the screen. Marianne.
Marianne.
Marianne, yeah. I'll get it right one. All right, this is, let me see. I have this. Can the women talk? Let's see. Here we go.
blew this one, big
Do
time.
you want to say anything at this point?
About what?
We already heard
Are
this,
we
but
waiting to talk about this
Well,
at our point, or?
Yeah, we're gonna.
I wanted to
deal
get
with
that
the
across.
Implementation issue further down, but I didn't know if you wanted to say anything based on any of the comments.
Oh, I thought we were listening and not
No,
talking.
I'm just saying,
You were told that.
no, I got carried away.
I wanted to get that final point in that he shushed her 3 times during a meeting, a public meeting, right? And he shushed Marianne on the screen. Yeah.
Yep.
Shushed her at the beginning. Totally shut her down. But then he rambled like a babbling idiot for the whole night. The whole night. Like, this guy does not need to, he's a bad representation of the Board of Health. He's outdated. He's got to go.
He's outmoded.
Yeah.
He's an
Him
outmode.
and his members, remember, his members.
Yeah, that was something else,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So, all right, buddy. That's an hour and 20 minutes. I know you're exhausted. You had a long day.
Yeah, you.
Not me.
Two.
No, I'm retired.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, long day. Not feeling too great
All right,
either.
man. Well,
You know,
listen,
that-
thanks for hanging in there
Coof-
tonight, buddy.
The coof is passing.
Yeah.
The coof is passing.
Well,
Yeah. Hey, listen, this was good. Thanks for chopping up that video like that. I'm
Yeah.
glad you actually waited to
Yeah.
watch it to give yourself
fresh
some space,
perspective.
if you
Yeah.
will. Yeah. I after seeing it again, I'm really irritated, but I'm gonna put that behind me so I can get some sleep. For everyone watching, thank you again. We really appreciate your viewership. As we all know, all politics is local. I think this is yet another glaring example of why people should be paying attention. I've asked action to be taken on this man months ago in terms of his seat on that board. Actually, over a year ago during the pandemic, I just didn't think he was fit for the role. I was told it has to be for cause. If that isn't for cause, I don't know what is. He's breaking the woke rules of treating women like crap.
And the people that come to the meetings, the taxpayers, the voters. Although I'm not voted on, he's not voted into office. He's appointed. He's appointed.
Yeah.
What does Kurt say? It's a great example. Why'd you have to end it like that, Kurt? Why'd you have to? Well, like I always say, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, share it. Tell a friend. Show everybody in Winthrop. Pretty much a lot of people know about it. If you didn't like it, thanks for listening this long and watching this long. We'll be back Monday night with part 2, and then that shouldn't last long. Then I've had a list of things that need to come to pass. I had a nice conversation with a whistleblower in Winthrop. Yeah, it has to do with not the school, the town hall. School, though, we still want to know what's going on with those books in the elementary school. Still want to know. So, all right, we're done for tonight. Thanks again. We will see you Monday night at 8:00.